Hi, this is Danny from Coffee Tea and PvP.com. Welcome to my channel. I would like to talk to you today a little bit about how to level in Wildstar as a PvP player. A couple things you want to keep in mind when you're leveling in Wildstar is that you're not just going to be able to PvP your whole way up. If you want to keep having fun and feel competitive in the brackets as you're leveling up, you're going to need to do a little bit of PvE mixed in with your PvP. Unfortunately, you're going to have to start doing some PvE right off the bat, right when you get out of the tutorial, because the first Battleground unlocks at level 6. That means you have to work through the tutorial and then level up a little bit in that first starting zone before you're going to be able to get into the PvP, which is going to start at level 6. Once you're hitting level 6, you can hit the letter N, and it's going to open up your group finding menu. In that group finding menu, you'll see a few options, but you want to scroll down to practice battlegrounds, because you're not really fighting for team ranking or anything at this level. You just want to level up and get EXP. Practice battlegrounds are going to be where it's at. So go ahead, scroll down, select if you're setting yourself up as a healer, a DPS, or a tank. It does actually matter a little bit in the battlegrounds. They try to place people so that one team is not completely healerless. Doesn't always work that way, but you're going to be able to do this till you're about level 15. At level 15, what happens is you actually move up to a much bigger level bracket, and you're going to find that if you try to queue up and start doing PvP right off the bat at level 15, you're going to be under-geared, under-leveled, and generally really frustrated. What this means is you're going to have to do a little bit more PvE. Now, the problem is that if you've been PvPing the whole time, you're going to open up your quest menu and it's going to be full of like under-leveled quests. You're going to have a map that doesn't have anything on it, and you're generally going to feel pretty frustrated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to get to your capital city, which is where you're going to be able to get better gear, better amps, and you're also going to be able to find the quest NPC that's going to unlock adventure zones. Adventure zones are really cool because they queue up just like your PvP battlegrounds do. And so you can just open up your group finder, queue into those, go right into the zone, and just start grinding out EXP. No running around looking for mobs, reading quest text, just boom, boom, boom. It's the way to go. So here I'm going to show you. It's just so much easier to show you than explain by running the character here through the map. I'm in Exile side. Maybe in the future I can do something for Dominion, but we'll see. So here we go. In the meantime, while I'm running there, I want to talk to you a little bit about some other questions you might have as a PvP player in Wildstar. For example, one of the things people are kind of curious about is how the leveling works. It does say normalization, but the reality is the normalization is not going to put you on an even standing with other players. So every couple brackets, when you're at the very bottom, you're just going to feel really underpowered for the reasons I was mentioning earlier. You need that gear, you need the amps, you need the higher level abilities if you really want to compete. You'll notice that you may have adventured a little bit. You're going to find some cabs throughout the world. Cabs work in like a chain type format. So just finding one cab driver doesn't actually take you to all of the cabs. You have to find the one that's linked to your destination. In this case, it's in the northeast corner of the second map for the Exile starting zone. People might have questions about, what profession is best. Maybe you have an idea what kind of class you want to play, but you don't know what kind of profession is good for you. When it comes to PvP, really doesn't matter a whole lot, because your profession abilities that you get from like soldier or scientist or explorer, those don't carry over into the battlegrounds. They're disabled inside the battlegrounds, inside the arena, and inside the war plots. The only professions that may have a little bit of an advantage in world PvP are going to be like the scientist, because you can just group people up and call them all in together, so you can quickly get everybody. You can just like group recall everybody to your position. That could be really useful, and maybe with the Explorer, the speed boost could help you if you get a flag at the right time or something. The safe fall that you get from the Explorer isn't a big deal, because it's a really good tip you need to know anyway. You can, at any time you're falling, to avoid taking a horrible death or taking a bunch of damage, you can hit a movement ability, like a leap forward or a leap back, and it'll stop you from taking any damage as long as you hit that move before you hit the ground. You'll only take damage from where you end on that move. Really, really useful, even in Battlegrounds. So the Explorer ability is nice, but ultimately it's a little useless because everybody gets one. Alright, so you can see the NPC, the liking the character here, has gotten to the cab driver. We're gonna hop in, we're gonna fly to the capital city, and I'm gonna show you how to get to those Battleground vendors and how to get to the NPC. Another quick tip about the main city, there's also a short quest to get your house at the main city. This is really useful. I strongly recommend doing this quest really quickly. Get your house. It sounds kind of lame, but the reality is from the board, the bounty board at your house, you're able to get a daily buff that increases your PvP EXP by 10%. So that's just awesome. You want to get that. You want to use that a lot while you're leveling up. Keep in mind that no matter what you do, leveling in PvP is going to be a little slower than it is in PvE. I say a little, but it's probably almost about half as fast. So if you really want to grind up and be super competitive, you're going to have to just grind the crud out of PvE. You're going to have to do lots of group quests, lots of dungeons, and lots of adventures, and just power game your way to the end, which really sucks, but could be right for you. You could get a little bit of an advantage. The gear system works a little bit like WoW at endgame, where you sort of get a little bit of, you get kind of capped weekly as far as how much you can get for certain types of gear. So it may help you to get a slight edge, but you're trading having a really decent time leveling up. So you know, you're gonna have to pick and choose. Do you want to enjoy this game, or do you want to just try to get that little edge on the competition by trying to get there a week or two faster? Another thing that doesn't really carry over, you see, I just picked up some world buffs that a settler has built. Those are neat, those are really nice for world PvE, but as soon as you go into Battleground, they're wiped, so that's not going to help you a whole lot either. Alright, so here we go. We're arriving at the NPCs right now, these merchants. This girl right here, she sells the amps. The guy next to her, he's going to be selling some gear. We'll quickly flip through that gear. Another question some people might have, which battleground is better, which battleground's better EXP? At level 15 you may have noticed that you unlock the second battleground, the halls. It plays a lot like Wildstar and Star Wars Galaxies, except for it's a little bit worse. It's not quite as fun if you ask me. In general, just like the Wildstar, it's not as good EXP as the Wiki Temple, because in the Temple, if you have a good group, you can just destroy the other group really quickly, get your mask, and go. Or if you're in a bad group, again, you lose pretty fast, and the match is over. In the halls, you know, if you're unlucky enough to be on the bad team, and the other team is just stomping you, and they are on defense first, they have this long, protracted defense, and you're stuck there the whole time, waiting for them to defend, and then you get to go, and when your team goes, you know, you get crushed really fast, right? So basically, you know, it can be worse EXP, but if you're just doing PvP, you want to mix it up a little bit, otherwise you're just going to go crazy with just freaking tempo masks all the time, right? Anyway, one last thing, you know, some people might be interested, like, what class is best for PvP? Well, you know, it's so cliche. Well, it's whatever you want to play. No, that's bullshit. The reality is, if you really want to play PvP, the best class is probably Stalker. The reason why I'm saying that is because it's one of the most intuitive classes. It's really easy to pick up at the beginning and do well at the class. It's also high DPS, so it's, you know, kill stuff. It's fun to play at the beginning of the game. It's fun to play at the middle of the game. It's fun to play at the end of the game, and they're powerful in all those brackets. Stealth isn't for everyone though, and in the end, if you're not a stealth player, you know, you're gonna have to change it up. If you want to heal, for example, you know, there's a lot of debate as to who's the better healer, what class is good, but the Stalker is one of the best all-around classes. So we left the town, we're going over here, we're almost to this NPC. We're gonna go over in there, hop, talk to her really quickly. She's gonna unlock that those adventure zones, which are gonna be the best way to get EXP. So you're probably gonna wanna do this every bracket. You're gonna do those adventure zones for about 5 levels. So for example, right now you're 15, you wanna do it to 20. Level 20, you're still gonna be up against level 29 players, which is kind of tough. I mean, those guys are gonna hit a little hard. You're not gonna feel like king of the battleground right off the bat, but you're gonna feel like you're at least able to contribute. So when you're back in the battleground, you won't feel like you're hurting your team just by being there, and you'll be able to have a really good time, even though you may be a little bit underpowered for the bracket still against a few of the higher level players queuing up. Right, so we went through the portal. You can see now your adventure zones are unlocked. You're able to get in on that, and I really want to thank you for watching. This has been one of my first YouTube videos, so if you have any feedback, please leave it in the comments. I really appreciate it. And thank you again for watching. This is Danny from Coffee, Tea, and PvP. Take care.
Tell me true. What you think of my wares?